Okay, so I'm gonna be reading a quick little Slavic story here, supposedly taken from a text called "60 Folk Tales from Exclusively Slavonic Sources" by A.H. Vratslav, from 1890. So this is just a short little story. I just wanted to read the beautiful damsel and the wicked old woman. So it seems quite interesting. So here we go. Uh, in the woods stood a cottage. In it lived a man and his wife, but they had no children. Well, they went on a pilgrimage to beseech God to give them a child. God gave them a daughter. She grew and prospered. The prince about that time rode up to the place as he was out hunting and sent his attendant, saying, would you be so good as to ask for a draught of water at yon cottage?" The attendant said. The attendant went to ask for the water just when the child was weeping and pearls were rolling down from her eyes. Her mother pacified her, she began to smile, and all manner of flowers began to bloom. The servant went out and said, "Prince, I've seen a little girl. When she weeps, pearls roll down, and when she smiles, all manner of flowers bloom." The prince went into the cottage and began to tease the children to make her cry. She cried, and pearls rolled down. He began to beg her mother to pacify her, and when she smiled, the prince saw that all manner of flowers bloomed. The girl continued to grow, and the prince always rode round that way when he went hunting. Well, she grew up. The prince said, "Old man, give me your daughter to wife." She now embroidered handkerchiefs with eagles. But the emperor said, What are your wits gone to, my son, that you want to take a peasant girl to wife?" Then the prince took one of the handkerchiefs and she had embroidered and carried it to the emperor, whereat the emperor clapped his hands. "Marry," he said, "my son, marry." Okay, maybe that's a weird translation there, but okay. "Marry, my son." My son, marry. Anyway, then he conducted her homeward. Yeah, some of this is slightly weird. But in his suite was an old woman who had her daughter with her. In his suite was an old woman who had her daughter with her. Well, as they were on their way, the prince stopped to shoot something, and the old woman took everything from the damsel, scooped out her eyes, and thrust her into a cavern in the ground, and dressed her daughter in her apparel. So the prince took her to wife without recognizing her. But round the cavern there grew a multitude of bushes, and an old man came to gather brushwood. The girl, the damsel were sitting in the cavern, and in front of the heap of pearls she had wept as she sat, but she had no eyes. "Take me," she said, "kind old man, and pick up this jewellery here." Well, the old man took her and collected the jewellery and led her home. At the old man's house there were no children, but there was an old woman. She, the damsel, said, "Collect the jewellery in a bag and carry it to town for sale. And if a certain old woman meets you, then don't sell them to her, but say, 'Give me what you have about you.'" Well, he carried it to town and met the old woman. The old woman said, "Sell me the jewellery. Purchase. How much for it? Give me what you have about you." She gave him an eye. Then the damsel began with one eye to embroider a handkerchief. Again the old man carried the jewellery to the town. The old woman said again, "Old man, sell me the jewellery. Purchase. How much for it? Give me what you have about you." She gave him the other eye. The damsel then began to embroider still more beautifully. The old man said, There's a dinner at the emperor's." The damsel said to him, "Go, kind old man, to the dinner and take a jug, that you may beg some soup for me." She was obviously hungry. She also tied a handkerchief of her own sewing on the old man's neck. When the prince espied the saw the handkerchief on the old man's neck. He carried, whence come you, old man? From the farm yonder, prince, and there is also a damsel living at my house. Be so kind as to give her something for this jug. But old man, where did you get that handkerchief? I found a damsel in a cavern in the ground, he said, and she embroidered it. The prince at once recognized it by the embroidery. Tis she, tis she. But the old woman's daughter he packed off to tend swine. That's all.